Hi everyone, it's Linda McKenna from Golden Rule Senior Placement Services coming to you today with Tuesday Talks. Today being May 7th with the first Tuesday pretty much of the month, and we're going to be focusing on this month is depicted as Older Americans Month. And since we do senior placement, no better explanation than actually acknowledging our elders and our older Americans and our seniors. This day was commemorated a while back ago, and I think the first one was done back in 1978, and it was called In the New Century, this month's theme. And then on to the future, it was the future in aging. That was back in 2000. And Age Strong and Live Long was back in 2010. And 2022 was Age My Way. The latter is focused on how older adults can remain in and involved with their communities. So that's why we would like to talk about that, because especially that I do senior placement. But now, this year, the theme is Powered by Connection, which recognizes the profound impact that meaningful relationships and social connection have our health and well-being in tuned. We will explore the vital role that connections and connectiveness plays in supporting independence and aging in place by discontinuing and combating isolation, loneliness, and other issues, which is typically depression. The history of Older Americans Month, as I told you, was back, in 1963. That there were only 17 million living Americans that had reached their 65th birthday. Around a third of those older Americans lived in poverty, and programs to meet their needs that were not many. For that reason, there was growth of interest in older Americans and their concerns. In April of 1963, a meeting was held by President John F. Kennedy and members of the National Council of Senior Citizens, leading the designation of May as Senior Citizen, now Older Americans Month. So a lot that was done back in 1978 by this formative group and community was to help seniors be recognized, older Americans to be recognized, and the services that they need. Not many people that as they age don't know that there are services out there that can actually assist them. A lot of the times they're dependent on their children to tap into those services, and some of those children might not know what is available to their senior loved ones. And that's why I think what we're going to focus on in this conversation is not only what older Americans are in meaning and translation, is the fact that how we should be recognizing it and how we should help with this process. We always say, it takes a village. Older Americans Month frequently asked questions. What do older adults want to be called? It is said that older people and older folks are almost always, an appropriate alternative to senior citizens. What age does middle age start? It's generally defined as being between the age of 40 and 60. If 60 is considered elderly, the United Nations has defined anyone 60 years old or older as an older person. A lot of the times you'll recognize that as senior discounts, maybe at stores, shopping stores, and even some eateries recognize it. 5 facts about older adults you need to know. They are online. The seniors of today and older adults of today and older Americans of today are actually very computer literate, and they do go online. So we're very lucky that Americans are more adaptive to the new technology. Number 2, 4 and 5 have chronic conditions. that is a high percentage. That 4 out of 5 have chronic conditions, maybe COPD, arthritis, cardiac diseases like congestive heart failure, osteoporosis, unfortunately, some cancers as well. And rheumatoid arthritis is very crippling. And let's not talk about that there is peripheral vascular disease. Sometimes diabetes is chronic and it's uncontrollable. So 4 out of 5 is a high percentage. So they need to be monitored much more medically. Only 3.6 are in nursing homes. Let's not confuse senior living facilities like assisted living or memory care communities or even independent living communities with that of nursing homes. Nursing homes is not that. Nursing homes is a skilled nursing facility that requires 24/7 care and usually is got very debilitating diseases that they need a much more higher level of care. So reportedly only 3.6% of people over 65 years old are in nursing homes. That's a low percentage. They get a good night's sleep, opposed to our thinking that they do have a good restful night's sleep. Maybe that is induced by melatonin or some medications, but they're getting good night's sleep, which is great because that helps. There are a lot of chronic conditions, but it also makes the caregivers of that elder have a good night's sleep as well too. They have less stress. According to the American Psychological Association, 9 in 10 older adults are doing enough in managing stress. Again, may it be that it is medication, but the activity and like the topic of 2024 is staying connected. So socializing helps stress as well too, and not the existence of just day to day. So something to look forward to really surely helps by all means the stress. Why we love Older Americans Month. It helps us to appreciate. It really is very reflective time of the year that you realize that our older adults really need our embracement and need our care and our love or just an oversight of their needs. But we also should appreciate them in all the gifts that they have given us, especially our veterans. So we should really take that into consideration as well. Number 2, we involve them. Never push them aside and not get involved. Inviting an older adult to a family gathering or to an occasion, may it be a neighbor or a distant relative or friend, invite them to partake in an activity or an actual event. By stepping away from them or not including them, honestly, is not really helpful for them to really look forward to. So engaging them and connecting them is really, really important. And it also helps us to learn. We forget that our seniors and our older Americans have actually gone through a lot more than we could even imagine. They have life stories. They have a lot of memories. They have a lot of recognition of what they went through. Some of the best times that I spent with my parents is learning what the Depression was really all about from their personal perspective. Also learning what the war times were like. A lot of people could read it in history books, but getting it personally and actually speaking to an older American or a senior loved one is getting it firsthand and really more than emotional and connected point. And what a great conversation to have with them as well too, to build not only your legacy and memories there forward, but also to appreciate them and thank them how we can actually learn of the past, not reading it in a history book. Older Americans Month activities, and here's some great ideas. Hold a workshop. I do that often with a lot of senior groups, is actually talk about senior living. Remember, a lot of seniors that might be at a senior center envision a senior living community, not living on their own, but now it being a nursing home. So I describe the differences. And it's like not waiting to when it's really necessary, but to enjoy the ambiance of a senior living community with all the activities rather than them being home alone. So I do go to a lot of associations and held workshops, or even for families that are caregivers to their senior loved ones. So more information during this month is really essential in getting the word out and getting rid of the stigma of what growing old is all about. Number two is hold a musical event. Nothing plays more appropriate in older Americans and seniors. That's where we really combine our our pleasures together, but more important, our experiences together. Is musical events are wonderful. I was born, of course, in the 60s, and I enjoyed the 50s music, though I never heard it personally, and I love the big band era. So having those musical events and being part of that is wonderful. You know what? Bringing a grandparent to a dance recital or a music recital is something that they really want to enjoy as well too. So don't keep them from that. Believe it or not, they remember songs to the greatest details. So there's little groups around everyone's town. It's groups that do a quartet or do musical venues that they can partake in as well. That's the great part of senior living. Ironically, today, one of my senior living actually had two performances, that being a very soft rock, a group of three that actually had a guitar and instrumental, tambourines, but also that they were singing folklore. And the second group that actually performed at the assisted living was that of a quartet, a men's quartet, and it was so enjoyed. So musical events are wonderful. Also let older Americans lead if possible. When doing something, ask them what they want to do, what they want to partake in. Maybe it's going out to go see a movie. Maybe it's out going to a musical event or to dine. Let them take the lead as to what they want to do. They'll be more engaged. So socialization is so important, and getting out and enjoying. Senior living, it's already planned in the community. They have so many activities going on. And you know what? To be honest with you, you're going to have to make an appointment to see them. And also you could enjoy the festivities as well. But there's a whole host of activities for them to pick through. Some people just want to play cards or bingo or billiards. There's something for everybody to enjoy. So the most important thing, as the theme is this month, is to powered by connection. Actually, socialization is one of the pillars of needs that I cover with you when we talk about placement. And it is important because that's the engagement. It's actually something that they focus on and get to enjoy the next day, what to look forward to, rather than it just be in existence. As we close this topic, I also want to put into recognition, next Sunday is Mother's Day. So happy Mother's Day to all our folks out there, and to your parents and grandparents as well, and nieces, nephews, aunts, not nephews, but aunts as well too. So thank you so much for all the mothers out there that taught us how to be a mother as well. As always, I lead you to my website. It's www.goldenruleseniorplacement.com. There you will find my bio, you'll find demographics, you'll find various options, testimonials, resources, and a library of all these video talks. There's also a way getting connected with me. If you'd like an idea to talk about, by all means, email me, call me, and give me an idea. I would like to produce something that you would like to enjoy to talk about. As in the Golden Girls theme is, reach out to a friend and connect this month for an older adult, or maybe getting some friends together for an older American and what we call senior loved ones. So as always, thank you so much for viewing Tuesday Talks with Linda McKenna of Golden Rule Senior Placement Services. Have a blessed week. Have a happy Mother's Day, and I'll see you next Tuesday. Bye-bye now.